ustream.com. You can also find us on augustuschoice.com. Well, let me give you a little bit of information about who we are. Let me just get this adjusted. It's very exciting times. This is our first broadcast on Ustream. This is our first live broadcast, and we're going to be doing this here every Tuesday from 12:30 to 1:30. And the whole purpose of doing the show, Turn Up the AC, is to talk about all the good things that are happening in Augusta, in the CSRA area. I'm your host, Kenny Adams, and thank you for watching. We are glad to have you as watchers, and this will also be syndicated to a podcast here starting today. We're going to be archiving every single episode. We are recording live right now, and we are broadcasting on uh, we're broadcasting everywhere. We have this on augustuschoice.com. This is broadcasting through Ustream. We just posted it to Facebook, and it is on Twitter. So again, hopefully we can have you guys as listeners on a go-forward basis. We will be opening up the phone lines here over the next coming weeks as we start adding in additional lines. But yeah, this is pretty good. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an overview about why we have done Augusta's Choice for our new watchers, people that have been invited by some of our great sponsors over at Earth Fair. And we also have one of our callers today, Miss Beth Barranco. You probably know her from Healthy You, which comes on NBC here in Augusta. She's broadcast that the show is debuted live today as well. So again, there's a lot of new eyes. There's a lot of people that are going to be watching the show. And Augusta's Choice started about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago. And the reason why we started it, my wife and I, we had just moved to the area about a year prior. And being freelancers, we were web designers. And we were looking for something to do with our family in the area. And we realized that there were many different websites in the CSRA that had a bunch of information out there. And we weren't really exactly sure which website had accurate information because there was many different ones out there, and it was a little confusing. So not only were we looking for accurate information when it came to businesses and events, we wanted to see a place that the community had a say in being able to put some of this stuff together. So one day, instead of trying to outsource it to someone else to do, we realized that we can do this ourselves. So we spent the next, I don't know, 6 months or so. We spent a good 6 months working on getting everything put together and put into the first incarnation of Augusta's Choice, which was a business directory. And we put in just under 23,000 businesses by hand. It took a very long time, about 6 months, but we realized that we need more than just a business directory. Just about every website that is catering to the community has some form of business directory. I mean, granted, we had the ability to let people manage their own listings, but we wanted to give the area something more. I'm a big extrovert. I don't mind being out and being around people and putting myself out there. So we wanted to be able to give people more than just the standard business directory, maybe an events calendar. That was boring. We were like, all right, well, we need to kick it up a notch. So we started the Facebook fan page. And when we started, we had a tremendous following before we even really launched the site. People were curious as to what we were doing. So that being said, what we ended up doing was creating. I started going business, to all the different businesses in the area. I would hit at least 25 to 30 businesses on a daily basis to try to introduce the website to the community. It was a very, very long process. Some of the listeners right now, you guys probably remember me walking through your doors. I remember some of the first people that I met was I went to the Book Tavern, and I went to Fringe Hair Salon, and I went to all these other places that were really wanting us to end up coming to and paying them a visit. And that started out with what we called the Tour of Augusta. And if you remember, and actually you can find those on augustuschoice.com, which is www.augustuschoice.com. You can do a search for all of the previous Tour of Augusta pictures and articles. And yeah, I ended up going to so many different businesses and just explaining it, spending some time, not asking anything about, advertising or anything like that. It was just really an introduction to the site. And we received a pretty warm reception, and it just kind of grew from there. But then we realized that after a couple of months, we were like, okay, so we got the tour of Augusta, and that's great. People like seeing the pictures that I was taking. I started really showing up at all the different networking groups, and I had been a part of YPA for a while, Young Professionals of Augusta. Shout out to Mr. Sean Franham and Mr. Henry, Lindsay Thetford, all you guys. If you're watching or listening, I'd like to say, hey, how you guys doing? But after we did that for a while, we were like, okay, let's kick it up another notch. And what we ended up doing was, and if you can just bear with me 1 second, we're going to get things ready here for a couple of our callers. We do have a couple of special guests. Just wanted to jump tracks for a second. We have a couple of special guests that are going to be calling in today. We have Aubrey Nazarro from Earth Fair. She should be calling in here shortly. We have Beth Baranco. And then later on in the show, we have a very special guest, a Mr. Jason Mitchem. He's going to be calling in to talk to us about a project to restore the Miller Theater. So again, these are pretty exciting times for what's going on in the area. And but back to Augusta's Choice and how we got things started. Eventually, we ended up going and introducing a lot of other items. And actually, you know what? Before we go on, it looks like we actually have Aubrey calling in now. Hey, Aubrey, are you there?
Mhm.
How you doing, Aubrey?
How are you?
Everybody on the phone right now, we have Aubrey Nazarro from Earth Fair here in Augusta. Earth Fair is at 368 Fury's Ferry Road in Martinez, Georgia. They're open Monday through Sunday, every day of the week, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Is that correct, Aubrey?
Yes, it is.
All right, so Aubrey, I hadn't had a chance to get to this part. Things are kind of flying by a little bit faster than I was expecting, which, like you and I were speaking a little earlier, in the radio and TV world, that actually probably isn't a bad thing. Are you still there?
I am.
Oh.
I am. You cut out for a second.
Okay, but yes, in the radio and TV world, this isn't necessarily a bad thing to have things move a little bit faster than normal.
It's true. It's true. So that's not a problem at all.
Okay, so if you can tell me real quick, again, Aubrey is with Earth Fair of Augusta. If you can tell me a little bit about what you guys got going on tonight.
Well, for those of you that don't know, Earth Fair, we're an all-natural and organic supermarket in Martinez. We're located right next to Monkey Joe's. That's kind of the best way for people to recognize where we are, because anybody that's got kids knows where Monkey Joe's is.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that we have going on, especially we'll start out, I guess, with what we got going on tonight. Tonight we have what we call our Good Old Days Tuesday. And this kind of goes back to when we decided, hey, so many things are getting so expensive nowadays. Let's go ahead and start offering some great meals at a good old price. And for those of you that don't know, we have a full-service hot bar. We have a full salad bar. We make sandwiches, wraps, paninis, pizzas, everything made to order. So we said, you know what? Let's go ahead and offer something else.
Right.
So what we're doing is every Tuesday from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m., we offer a good old days dinner. And it's a fixed-plate dinner, often consisting of like a main item with 2 sides. And we also offer a vegetarian option as well. The plates are $8.99, and then there's additional 50% add-on sides that you can also get.
Okay.
Tonight's meal is a slow-roasted prime rib with au jus, mashed potatoes, roasted veggies, and, of course, the meat can always be substituted for a ratatouille burger. We make them homemade in-house. And then the 50-cent add-on sides are apple crumb pie, which is actually my mother's secret family recipe.
Oh, so your mother works over at Earth Fair?
Oh, yeah. We're a very family-oriented kind of place.
Very cool.
And she's the one that makes that pie, so good luck getting the recipe. But one of the other sides, so you could do a dinner roll or sweet tea. So it's a really great deal. I mean, if you're signed up for our email coupons, you can take a peek. There's a coupon for $2 off your dinner tonight, your prime rib dinner. So make sure you print it out if you come by, so you can save even more on a prime rib dinner.
And we'll post a link to how to sign up for the email newsletter on augustuschoice.com as well as on Facebook. Now, if you could tell me really quick a little bit about that prime rib. Let's backtrack a few steps and go back to that prime rib.
You're getting hungry, right?
Yeah, it's 12:40 and I'm realizing that I'm getting really, really hungry, so I'm probably going to have to start scheduling my meals before the shows start on Tuesdays. But now the meats that you guys have at Earth Fair, this is all like within a couple of state proximity local farmers, correct?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we consider we carry things here that we consider in two different brackets. Family owned and operated or local. And our definition of local is a little different than, from, say, another Earth Fair store in a different location. Our definition, to make it clear, is from within a 100-mile radius of our store. If it comes from there, then that's what we consider local. Any further than that, it would be a family producer or just another company.
Okay. And now, if you can tell me a little bit, let's jump tracks just a second, just a hair. Can you tell me a little bit about the family nights on Thursday?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like on the nights that start with the letter T. Tuesday night we've got our good old days, and Thursday night we have our family dinner night. Family dinner night was kind of something that came about when it appeared that childhood obesity is such a huge problem nowadays. And so what we decided to do was offer families, especially large families, the opportunity to feed their family affordably, but feed them healthy food. And so what we've done is we created a program called Itty Bitty Bites in conjunction with our family dinner night. Our family dinner nights are Thursdays from 4 to 8 p.m., where there's a menu, and it's a children's menu. They get the menu. They fill it out themselves. Main dishes, there's things like wrap sandwiches, pizza slices, there's vegan, vegetarian, and wheat-free options as well.
Nice.
And children fill out their own menu. It helps empower them to make their own healthy choices. And the real kicker is that not only are kids eating healthy and they're excited about eating healthy, the parents don't have to cook. And as long as a parent gets one meal of $5, an adult meal of $5, you get up to 6 kids' meals free. And these kids' meals are available, the free kids' meals are for 12 and under. So if you have a family of 5 kids, if you have a family of 6 kids, 4 kids, it doesn't matter. One adult meal purchase, which, like I said before, is anything from our hot bar, salad bar, sandwiches, wraps, any of that, even sushi, you can get up to 6 kids' meals free from 4 to 8 on Thursday.
That's awesome. Now, I know that there's a lot of families, because we're there every single Thursday night for the Augustus Choice meetups that we have. And I have to say that all the families that we see come out there, it's packed. It's typically always packed, and I think that's awesome that Earth Fair is being very conscientious of families and trying to give families the time to be able to sit down affordably and eat together, and then spend some time with them. I've seen a lot of families meet, and the kids start playing together after they're done eating. Gives the kids, a little bit of a sense of ownership of being able to pick healthy items. And it's educational and it's nutritious. And I just sounded like a really big infomercial.
You know what?
Go ahead.
It's true though. That's the crazy thing about it.
Do you think that I could pass off growing a beard and doing filling in for Billy Mays, and really pitching Earth Fair for you guys?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I like the way you do things already. I think you got your own niche.
I really don't think that I could pass off trying to sell OxyClean. But maybe what I can do is continue to try to send people and have people meet up with us at Earth Fair. We're typically out there at 5:15 on Thursday nights. But when does the family nights happen at Earth Fair?
Family dinner night is 4 to 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Every Thursday. And so, I mean, the time frame, it's like a half hour off from like the Tuesday night, good old days on Tuesdays. But yeah, family dinner night is 4 to 8 p.m. And it's a really great opportunity for families to, sit down, get together, but not just, have whatever. It's a healthy meal, and they're saving a ton of money doing it. And when we're talking about saving money, I mean, shoot, nowadays, that's like the biggest thing. We've got people who do extreme couponing. You got people that, they're looking for every chance they can to save money. And, I mean, I'm proud to say that we do a good bit of that at our store. It's not that hard to shop healthy and save money. We give stuff away from this store all the time. And at our website, earthfare.com, there's a button that says Start Now. That's where you click to sign up to get free coupons for your email. Mm-hmm. And I have a teaser for you.
Okay, what do you got?
I do have one. Okay. If you sign up today, like on our website, because when you do it on the website, it's instantaneous, you'll be in time for tomorrow's coupon, which is a free ball, I think it's an 8-ounce, a free 8-ounce ball of fresh or smoked mozzarella with any $5 purchase. So make some pizzas at home from scratch. You can make some sandwiches. You can do whatever the heck you want with it. But it's a free whole ball of fresh or smoked mozzarella.
That's insane.
It's you can't get better than that.
No, you
can't.
And
we do things like this all the time.
So, just so everybody heard, if you go right now today and sign up for their email newsletter for Earth Fare, and if you can go ahead and post that link on the Augusta's Choice wall, facebook.com/Augusta's Choice, and if you sign up for their email newsletter, you'll get an 8-ounce, with a purchase of $5 or more, right?
Yep, $5 purchase, a free ball of fresh or smoked mozzarella. And the great thing is for people who have signed up for the very first time, they're also going to get a, hey, welcome to Earth Fare coupon for a free chicken.
Wow. So if you've never signed up for Earth Fare's email newsletters, which we get them all the time, and what's cool about it is if you want to even save paper and you don't want to print them out, you can, if you have a smartphone and you are able to get the coupon on your phone, you can actually show the cashier the coupon from your phone, and that'll still work, right? Right, Aubrey?
It will.
Yeah, see, that's...
We're all about helping people out.
Absolutely. So if you've never signed up, not only will, with a $5 purchase, you'll get a 8-ounce ball of mozzarella, and it's just fresh or smoked, right? Fresh or smoked 8-ounce ball of mozzarella. You'll also get a free chicken. You guys, you can't beat that.
Yep.
So
you click the Start Now button, and it'll set you right up.
Perfect. That is absolutely awesome. All right. Well, Aubrey, thank you so much for calling in. We will go ahead and we'll look forward to speaking with you next week, see what you guys got going on. And again, that's Earth Fare at 368 Fury's Ferry Road in Martinez. They're open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Sunday. So that's every single day. And if you need to give them a call, it's 706-288-3042. Thanks a lot, Aubrey.
Thank you, Kenny.
You're very welcome. Talk to you later.
All right.
All right, bye. So, yeah, that was Aubrey Nazarro from Earth Fare here in Augusta. We've worked with Earth Fare on several initiatives, and we just choose to have our AC meetups Thursday nights. We're typically out there at about 5:15, 5:30, but it's from anywhere between 4:30 and 8:30. You can go out and have the family dinner night on Thursdays. Again, one paying adult, up to 6 kids eat free. Now, I have 3 kids, and whenever we go there on Thursday nights, I mean, that is a quick, easy way to have an affordable meal. It's really good. There's a lot of families around, so, I mean, it's a nice family atmosphere. And if you ever go in there and you see Ryan, ask for Ryan at the hot case where they make the sandwiches, and he'll do it up good for you. But I also wanted to talk really quick about one of the people that we like to work with a lot, and I've had experience working with them over the past couple of years here in town, just, again, jumping tracks a little bit. I've worked with Vern's Towing. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm bringing up towing company. Well, honestly, I have never met another client and friend that has such good service. The reason why I bring this up is my tires on my van, they started wearing, and I hadn't gone and got them changed yet, like a good responsible driver, and I got a flat. Well, uh, Vern's, I just gave them a call, and they're right on Old McDuffie Road, and they're 24 hours. They don't only do towing, but they also do, like lockouts, and I've gone to the movies over at the Regal several times over the past, this whole summer. There's been a lot of movies, and we'll get to that a little bit later, but that you would not believe how many people lock their keys in their cars. I mean, when I went to see Harry Potter, leaving leaving the theater, there was tons of people that were locked out of their vehicles, probably because they were a little bit too excited. That's what they get for getting there super crazy early in the morning. But it was, they didn't know really who to call. Well, Vern's Towing, they really take care of you. Again, they're 24 hours. You can reach them at 706-790-1209. And just like they came and took care of me and helped me get to a place where I could actually get my tires changed, they will help you out. They're really fast, they're efficient, and they're some people that I've helped in the past as well, so you want to check them out. But yes, so coming up here in a little bit, we have Beth Baranko. She's going to be calling in from Healthy You, and okay, that's a little bit scary, but I think that is her on the line right now. Hello, caller. Who's this? Hello? Oh, looks like we may not have the caller on the line yet, so we will try it again in a moment. But anyway, Beth Branco, I've seen her tweets on that show up on Twitter. And if you're not on Twitter, you need to get on there and follow us. I want to help bring up the level of people using Twitter in the Augusta area. It's a great place to find information. I mean, you can follow all sorts of news outlets. You can follow a lot of great designers. You can follow a great number of artists. There's a lot of people in the area that are on Twitter. You can follow us at twitter.com/AugustusChoice. And let's see, I think we may have her on the line now. Who's this on the line?
Hey, Kenny, this is Beth.
Beth, we have Beth Baranko on the line right now on Turn Up the AC. Beth, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Starving listening to Aubrey talk about all the food at Earth Fair.
It's she knows how to sell their product, I have to say. But every time I go in there, I mean, she works doing a lot of the marketing for Earth Fair, but every time I go in there, she's always running around like crazy, and she's at all the different departments, and she always has her hand on some great looking food. And I typically see her over in the cheese and wine section. Hopefully that's not telling Aubrey. But seriously, we go there every Thursday night ourselves, and we have the Augusta Choice meetups out there, and it's always good food. And that prime rib, yeah, that's calling to me right now. That's a stomach stinger.
That sounds great. I'm salivating. I'm feeling like Pavlov's dog.
It's I really do think that we're really going into a phase now where restaurants are really trying to not only just provide a good meal, but they're working on their presentation. And part of the presentation is, it does go into the marketing side of things. And I will say that good smells and good aromas and knowing how to talk about the food that they're going to be preparing in the coming nights, that is the best marketing that you can have. And then having people like me who like to eat, that's another portion of it.
Well, and I love hearing that they are really trying to implement healthy food choices and trying to, get children to eat healthier and getting the parents involved with it. That's just awesome, and that will help so many people in the long run, as they get older with their overall health and wellness, and it's great. So I'm so tickled to hear that there's so many people that are companies out there that are trying to implement that. So
absolutely.
Kudos to them.
Absolutely. And for people that don't know, Beth Baranko, who's on the line with us right now, she is a registered nurse here in the area. She works at one of the local hospitals. And what are you going to talk with us about today?
Well, I thought since it is so
just terribly hot outside, that I would talk about working outdoors and being outdoors in the heat and how you can protect yourself from heat-related illnesses and just keep yourself healthy even if you have to be outside.
Personally, I feel like whenever I'm outside, I feel like Satan's breathing down my neck.
I'm telling you, it's awful.
It's really,
awful.
really bad. And I have seen, a lot of news stories lately about people that are, dealing with heat strokes. And every time I look at, the weather and I see that, heat index is 112, and I'm like, why?
Yeah, it's absurd. I really don't remember a summer in the last couple of years that it has been this hot or felt this hot for this long a period. So.
Me and Mrs. Augusta's Choice were just talking about that. It just seems like this is abnormally hot this year.
Yeah, it does. So I'm hoping it's going to cool off soon.
So what are some pointers that you can give us to help with our, with being able to keep the heat off of us, especially, if I've even noticed whenever I'm driving and then I hop out of my vehicle for even 10 minutes and I get in, I feel just lethargic and just kind of worn down just by the heat. Are there any pointers you can give us?
Absolutely. What happens when it's so hot and humid outside, it raises your core body temperature. And so the inside of your body just can become very hot, and it can get very dangerous. It affects your organs and the way that your blood flows through the rest of your body. And everyone is vulnerable, but, chronic disease sufferers and older individuals, people that are on certain medications, and pregnant women, they really need to be particularly careful out in this type of heat. You really ought to try, if you know that you're going to be outside, really try to start hydrating yourself an hour or two before you actually have to go out and be in the heat. Start drinking water before you have to go out there and be in the heat. Try to drink something every 15 minutes while you are outside. They typically say on a normal average day that you should drink 8-ounce glasses of water to keep your body hydrated. And typically, when you're outside, they actually recommend you drinking 3 times that amount.
Three times.
If you think about that, that's a lot of water.
That is.
4 8-ounce bottles of water.
Wow.
That's a lot of water. But when you start sweating and, your body, you just start losing all of that fluid. So you really need to be careful and really try to hydrate yourself. Try and use a sunscreen of at least 30 to protect your skin from becoming sunburned. Because you can really develop, sun poisoning from a severe sunburn. You can lose electrolyte imbalances because of the blistering that happens with that. So you need to be, cautious and use a sunscreen.
A lot of people
try and wear light-colored clothing. What was that?
No, I was going to say, a lot of people don't really think about whenever they're just going out, say, if they know they're going to be walking downtown, from shop to shop. Most of the time when they think about sunscreen, they're thinking about going to the beach or if they know they're going to be out and tanning. But it's really important that if you know you're going to be outside at all, that you need to go ahead and put on some sunscreen.
Absolutely. And you need to reapply it often. When you sweat, a lot of things say that they're waterproof, but when you sweat, a lot of that protection does wear off of your body. So when you're going to be out there for an extended period of time, you need to reapply that sunscreen. It's very important.
Now,
and a lot of people too. A lot of these workers that are outside that have to wear, like protective equipment, like respirators or work suits. All of that really does increase the heat that your body holds on to as well. So those, people need to be particularly careful as well.
Right. It's, there's a lot of people that are out doing, whether it be manual labor, cutting lawns, or even the people that are doing sales that are, walking around from business to business, shop to shop. They need to be very careful about being out in this heat. And, going back to the water issue, I try to carry, and being that this is a visual show, I can actually show everybody in the audience. I carry around one of these you see, it even says Dad on it. Aren't my kids sweet? But I carry, one of those around with me. I try to carry that with me every single time I'm out. and I refill it on constantly. I probably don't drink as much as I need to, but I'm trying to increase that level, and I do boot camp over at Superior Academy. And they have, the instructor for the boot camp, he tells me, he drinks at the very least, 3 liters of water a day. And
Wow.
and that's just, and he's like, it's a lot of water, but, he goes, I have to get at least that in with how much I'm exercising, how much I'm out in the sun. And I mean, this is a really lean, muscular guy. And
Right.
he's like, you just sweat it out, and it passes through your body really, really fast. So definitely need to make sure that we keep hydrated. And I mean, even when you're inside, if the AC is going, you still don't know how the heat really does affect you. So yeah, definitely good pointers, Beth.
Absolutely. And just a few things to watch out for, too, if you are out in the heat. If you, start sweating a lot, you have a loss of color in your skin, you develop a headache or dry mouth, you start finding it a little bit more difficult to breathe, your pulse kind of gets weak and thready. Those are really signs that you are starting to become ill from the heat, and you really need to get to a shaded area if possible, or a cool air-conditioned area.
Right.
Maybe get to the emergency room if your symptoms don't improve over a few minutes time, and let them treat you for a heat-related illness.
Right.
It's just too easy to treat to not treat it and have, further complications from it.
We need to be very, very careful with everything, in regards to this heat. It can get very, very dangerous out there. So, now, Beth, how can people... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, especially for, the older people and children, and especially pets. I just really plead with people not to leave them in a car, even for 5 minutes. Even with the windows rolled down, cars just build up heat like an oven, and it can just be very dangerous for anybody that sits out in a car without any air conditioning on at the time.
Yeah, that is definite. I mean, I was over at the store yesterday, and I saw someone, they had their top down, and they had their dog out in the back. I mean, granted, yeah, it wasn't an enclosed area, but I was, worried for the dog. Now, granted, they had just come out. It didn't look like they were out or in the store very long, but you got to be careful with that. You got to be careful with those animals.
And I'm a dog lover. I have 4 dogs, and I treat them as my children, and that just makes me so upset to hear people do that. So just please be nice to your dogs and your other pets.
Now, Beth, how can people get a hold of you?
They can find me on Facebook. My webpage on Facebook is Barranco RN. They can just search for that. It's BBARRANCORN.
And we'll put a link up on Augusta's Choice, too. We'll put that up on Augusta's Choice as well for you.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm so excited for you and Augusta and Turn Up the AC. This is great.
Thank you very much.
I've enjoyed listening to it so far. It's great.
It's going very well. I'm obviously we're going to be working out some of the kinks in the show, but I think for a first show we're doing pretty darn good. What do you think?
I think so too. You got my stamp of approval.
Well, there you go. Everybody, the show is a raving success. Beth Barranco has given her stamp of approval. None of you have her stamp of approval.
Take you real far too.
No one else right now can say that they have the Beth Barranco stamp of approval. I think that we're just going to close up shop right now. Good day.
Well, that sounds good to me.
All right. Well, thanks so much for calling in, Beth. We're going to go ahead and move on here. But we look forward to hearing what good information you have for us next week. Everybody, Beth Barranco, she is a registered nurse here in the CSRA, and look for some more spots. And they can also find you on NBC. Are you still doing your spots on NBC?
Yes, I do Help the U on Tuesday mornings at 6:25 with Liz Hill. WAGT, NBC Channel 26.
Perfect.
So they can find me there each Tuesday morning at 6:25.
Awesome. And next time you talk to Liz, tell her to come watch the show next time.
I sure will.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Y'all have a great day, Kenny.
You
Thanks
too.
so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was Beth Baranko from. She is a registered nurse here in the area, and yeah, she has some really good information. You'll want to follow her on Twitter, as well as find her on Facebook. We'll have all the links for you. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to have Jason Mitchem calling in. He is the pastor of Revivify Church, and let me tell you, he has some great things to talk about. If you've ever been downtown, which most of you that are listening have, you've probably seen the Miller Theater. Now, the Miller Theater, I mean, it's great for our many local photographers because it has that really nice rustic feel. It looks great and it shoots great. Unfortunately, we can't get in to actually see the inside of it. It's kind of sad. The Miller Theater is a landmark here in Augusta. It is absolutely it's amazing. I wish that I could go in and see it. Well, in a few moments, Jason Mitchem from Revivify Church is going to be calling in to talk about his group's spearhead movement to try to restore the Miller Theater. And now I know there's a lot of people that are trying to do this. I mean, I know you have like the Imperial across the street, and you have a couple of other performance areas in the CSRA, but obviously the Miller Theater is, close to home. And it's, a lot of people in the area hold that place, a nice special place in their heart for it. So it's going to be really cool to talk to them, see what they have. Coming up at the end of the show, we are going to also be doing our giveaway with from Earth Fair. It is a humongous prize pack for barbecuing. You can go to augustuschoice.com. You can also see pictures of it on facebook.com/augustuschoice. And I mean, we even tweeted out on twitter.com/augustuschoice. It is really, really, really cool, the prize pack. I mean, you're getting charcoal, you're getting barbecue sauces, skewers that actually flavor the food from the inside. I mean, we're living in the future. Like my buddy Gomi says, we are living in the future. I mean, right now I'm talking to a bunch of people, and they're not sitting here with me, but they're watching me on TV, on their computer, and they're listening to me. This is the future, people. Wow, I went way too long talking about the future, didn't I? But you know what? This is my show. Anyway, but yes, sign up. We're gonna do the giveaway for the Earth Fair prize pack right around 1:25, right before we close up the show, and we have a number that is posted now throughout the week. We're going to occasionally post the number out there for you guys to call in and leave a message so that we can play some shout outs at the end of the show. Now, we got a little late start on it this week, being that we had just got everything configured, so we have one shout out at the very end of the show that we're going to play. We had two. We're only going to play one of them. But yes, the number is 706-871-4297. Again, that's 706-871-4297. And again, you can reach us at www.augustuschoice.com. Or if you're not a fan of us on Facebook, go to facebook.com/augustuschoice and like us. We have a bunch of contests that we're going to be doing over the next coming year. We have partnered with the Augusta Entertainment Complex, and they have a lot of stuff that they're going to be, a lot of concerts that we're going to be doing some giveaways through, and it's very exciting times, people, because we got a lot of good shows coming up toward the end of the year. The Riverhawks, they're going to be starting up here again soon, I believe, and we're going to be doing some stuff with them. I think that it's a really, really good opportunity for everybody to be able to get something free. Because in my opinion, if you're going to be spending time with us and looking at the content that we've put up in all the different shows and all of the Facebook posts and the posts on the website, that if you're going to be spending time with me, I might as well be able to give something back to you for free. And like we used to say when I was in the military, if it's free, it's for me. So we should be hearing any minute now from Mr. Jason. I'm very excited to talk to you guys about this. I had lunch with him not too long ago, and we had a good chance to sit down and talk about the Miller Theater. and the initiative to bring it back. And I know there's, oh, that sounds like that would be him right about now. You're talking to Kenny on Turn Up the AC. Who's this?
This is Jason Mitchem, Kenny.
It is the infamous Jason Mitchem that we are talking to on Turn Up the AC. Jason, how you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing really, really good. Have you been listening to the show today?
Yes, actually have.
I've been prepping the audience and getting them ready to talk to you or to hear what you have to say about the Miller. Can you give us a little bit of a background on your group, Revivify Church?
Yes, definitely. Revivify Church actually was birthed or launched in October of last year, specifically October 10th of 2010.
Okay.
There's kind of a rhyme and reason behind the 10-10-10, and basically the number 10, if anybody knows anything about the Bible and study Scripture, numbers mean things throughout the entire Bible, and the number 10 symbolizes restoration, or means restoration. And the very word revivify is from a French word called the revivification or revivifier, where they used to take old pieces of furniture and restore them back to what their future, or past glory, if you will. And so that word came to us. I had actually written a book called Revivify: Restoring Failed Leaders, and our team who was putting this launch together for the church actually decided that Revivify was the proper name for our church. And so that's how we got the name, and then the 10-10-10 thing just came to us while we were having meetings about starting. And it's really incredible.
Very cool.
From the date we were actually planning about starting the church to 10-10-10 was exactly 9 months, which everybody knows it takes 9 months to birth a baby. And so we just kind of thought it interesting, and we went with it. So last year,
October all connected. 10th,
we started.
Very cool.
And currently we're in Columbia County still. As far as our location, we're actually at the Jabez Theater in the Columbia County Library.
Okay.
And, incredible theater, and Columbia County has just been so gracious to us there, and it's just an awesome facility. And we have a kind of a different concept. What we find is that churches spend tens of millions of dollars all across this country building massive complexes and buildings.
Right.
And they don't have any funds to really do anything else because they're too busy trying to make mortgage payments and utility bill payments and things of that nature. Because you have these massive, campuses, and man, you're talking, they're spending tens of thousands of dollars in utility bills, not to mention the mortgage payment over 30 or 40 or 50 years. And so it's just we see it as a huge waste of good resources when there are so many different types of facilities that are available for incredibly cheap rates.
Right.
That's the direction we went with Columbia County.
Okay. Now, if you don't mind me asking, well, obviously this is the reason why you called on the show. Now, you guys, your church is now looking at spearheading the restoration of the Miller Theater, correct?
Well, we are definitely one of a few organizations that have made it known that we want to see the Miller Theater in downtown Augusta on Broad Street restored. There are a couple of organizations, one of which have been in the paper quite often concerning the Miller, and that is the Augusta Symphony. The owner, Mr. Peter Knox, has actually offered it to the Augusta Symphony some time ago. However, they're a very slow-moving organization, and the Miller doesn't quite meet their needs as they have stated, and it's going to talk about a huge, huge renovation project that's 4 times what the original estimates have been given to fix the Miller, because they need to alter it in so many ways. So they've been looking at it for some time, for the last couple of years, I believe. And then as of late, Mr. Mike Dees has an organization that has been very concerned about getting the Miller restored. And I will tell you that this man just absolutely, you can see it in his eyes, you hear it in his voice. He just loves the Miller, and he wants to see it restored. However, he doesn't want to be the organization or the man that manages the Miller after it's been restored. The problem that we're seeing with the restoration of the Miller is that the organizations that are currently looking at it are all looking at it from a financial standpoint, which I understand. how do they make it work financially after it's been restored? Apparently there is some kind of SPLOS money that has been voted on and passed by the voters of Richmond County to use funds, I think upwards of $5 million to restore the Miller. The problem is that the Miller, can it sustain itself after the fact with that kind of use? And they're all wanting it for the specific use of arts, the performing arts. And there's just, in my opinion, I don't think there's enough in Augusta to be able to sustain it, because you've got the Imperial, which is just, basically right across the street. Which, the Imperial is a phenomenal facility in which the Augusta players are at. I think it seats between 800 and 900 people. Very rarely that I've seen that they actually fill that place to capacity during their events. I think they use it 4 or 5 times a year during certain series to do their dramas and their plays and what have you. It's phenomenal things that they've done with it. However, is there enough in Augusta to be able to sustain the Imperial, the Miller, and the other venues that are out there? And so, in my opinion, there's not. And so, financially, if you're an performing arts type of company or organization, there's just not enough to keep it full. I mean, it would take a serious, serious effort to be able to keep these venues pumping.
Right.
Type of revenue that's going to sustain them. So, several years ago, as I was driving down Broad Street, I saw the Miller, and I just got one of those, gut checks, one of those feelings of, man, wouldn't this be incredible if we could use this facility as a community center, not just church, if you will, but a community center.
Right.
And let me say this, a lot of people, when they hear church, they automatically take it right back to the traditional settings of church. Revivify Church is not the traditional setting. At least we're trying not to be.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want anything to do with the traditional setting. Not that the traditional setting is wrong, because, look, there are plenty of traditional churches in town that are doing phenomenal jobs with what they have and the resources they have.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're going to be just like them, then there's no point in us starting. We'll just, join with them and help them in their efforts. We wanted to create something that was totally different. Basically, one of the slogans that we have is reinventing how we do church.
Okay.
And reanimating people's lives and just changing, people that have given up on church but not God. And so what we saw in the Miller was this. Could it be that a community center could be used in there alongside a church to where we're doing things Monday through Sunday? Kenny, we believe that church is not what you do on Sunday. We believe it's what you do Monday through Saturday, and Sunday ought to be a celebration of what happened those 6 days.
So it's almost like a proverbial God is an awesome God, we just spiked the football.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Sunday ought to be this big, massive party, if you will, where people are coming, rejoicing, having a good time, fellowshipping, not the starchy things that have, snuck its way into the church and become traditional things and sacred cows, if you will.
Right.
Sunday ought to be a time of celebration, what God has done Monday through Saturday. Too many people look at church as being on Sunday and people coming to know the Lord on Sunday. Well, I'm pretty sure people can know the Lord Monday through Saturday.
Right.
And how do they know the Lord? One of the things Scripture tells us that you'll know you're my disciples. People will know that you're my disciples by your love one for another. And it also talks in many, and we could talk about this all day long, but many, many different verses where it talks about God's plan and God's will for the church is for the people of the church to meet the needs of its community.
Right.
And I am, I'm obviously a fiscal conservative, but at the same time, I believe it's the church's responsibility to take care of the community. I don't believe it's government's responsibility. If the church had been doing what it was supposed to do all along, we wouldn't have to have so much government intervention in taking care of people.
Right.
But because the church fell down on its job, the government had to step in, and now we're forcing people to pay taxes that they shouldn't have to pay in order to take care of someone that the church failed to take care of.
Gotcha.
That's obviously probably a very tough issue to deal with, maybe controversial some at best. But anyway, the point is, with the Miller, what if we took the Miller and turned it into a community center where kids who can't afford to pay for certain camps during the summer or different training camps, for the arts, to show them how to act, how to participate in dramas and plays, and then let them construct one and put them on 2, 3, 4 times a year, and let the community come out and support them.
That's a really cool idea.
Yeah, feeding people, clothing people. Now, I'm not talking about making it another Salvation Army or anything like that.
Right.
They do a phenomenal job. But I'm talking about kind of stepping out and doing things different and creating a community center where people can participate of all levels of income, no matter what their ethnic backgrounds are. But the church being what the church was meant to be.
Right.
And also having Augusta Symphony or Augusta Players or whoever wants to use that venue to come in and use it. The interesting part is this. As a church, we don't have to charge the exorbitant fees that these major production companies or production houses are having to charge in order to stay alive.
Right.
Because, number one, we're supporting the institution based on the weekly givings of the members of the church.
Right.
The people that came into the place to use it for different events would only add value into the ability to sustain the place. As a church, you're not worried about making money. You're worried about blessing lives, obviously keeping the budget full, but at the end of the day, you just want to break even.
So pretty much what you're saying is you're not wanting to turn this into a cash cow, but really just being able to turn this into something that can serve the community, give people a safe place where they can learn, to where they can create memories, and then have a venue to not only have your services, but also have a place where people can actually come and enjoy a good show, see their kids in action, see their kids or even their teenagers, or even the kids go and see their parents perform in different productions. As well as, I would assume that you would also have this open to like music acts and bands and learning about instrumentation and things like that as well, right?
Oh, exactly. Yeah, I mean, the Miller is the perfect size where maybe the bell is too large, but the Imperial's too small. It's kind of in between. And you can take smaller acts to come in there, do concerts of all sorts, of all different styles of music. We're not a church that says, oh, it better be this or it has to be this particular genre in order to play here. We're not about that. We just don't play those lines.
Nothing wrong with the Gaither vocal band, but there's room for everybody.
Now, I'm not going to let anything ungodly come in there and teach kids how to murder and cuss or anything like that.
Right.
It's obviously not. That's not our ideal, and we'll guard against that kind of thing. But at the same time, there has to be a way to make this thing work. And I believe, in my opinion, is that the church is the perfect institution to make the Miller successful.
Right.
The Miller has tremendous historical value.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Mike Dees was kind enough to give us a tour of that place a few weeks ago, and I'm telling you, the majesty of the place, if I can say that,
mm-hmm.
was phenomenal. There are still pieces of equipment that are just absolutely incredible. They have huge historic value. And I'd love to see those items put in glass cases or plexiglass cases to be put on as exhibits, to show what the Miller has been and where it came from. And
that'd be very, very cool.
Taking the Miller and allowing the community to be able to participate again inside the Miller without having to worry about it being profitable, if you will, for some big production company.
This is a very, very good idea. Again, I'm speaking with Jason Mitchem from Revivify Church, and we are talking about restoring the Miller Theater and turning it into a complete and total community hub, an area where people can congregate together, have good productions, and make it to where it's affordable for people to be able to go, because sometimes paying $75 to $85 for a show just isn't in everybody's budget, and this would be a good avenue, I feel, that would be there to encourage people to use their creativity, whether they want to learn how to be an actor or if they want to be a musician or learn a craft. I mean, we have a great arts community in the CSRA, And I mean, there's so many different scattered areas where we can go and find our little pocket to hone our craft and showcase what we have. But again, every town has that one landmark that can be that everyone knows of. Yes, we have
Right.
we do have the Imperial, and we do have the James Brown Arena, the Bell Auditorium. We have the places in Columbia County, and actually, I would say that Augusta is kind of a little bit different than most cities. I mean, like for instance, if you think of the Big Mo. There's nothing else really that people know for that area, but you know that the Big Mo's out there. Here in Augusta, we have several different areas that and different venues that we can actually use and promote from so many different facets. So yeah, you can. I'll just let you know that you have Augusta's Choice and the AC Army behind you when it comes to the restoration of the Miller. Anything that we can do to help get that information out there and help you guys progress with your message of wanting to restore it, please do not hesitate to let us know, and keep us updated by posting on the wall on on Facebook.
Well, I sure will, and I'll tell you this: we kind of do feel like the David and Goliath thing here.
Mm-hmm.
It is a massive project. People are very concerned whether or not when they talk to us whether or not we can handle it. Here's the fact: we know it's huge, we know it's big, and it's much bigger than us. But that's where God wants His church. He wants them to participate things that are bigger than them. Because if we're always able to do what we can do, then why do we need God?
Right.
And so we're definitely going to need God to move in a massive way to help us, number one, get the funds, because the SPLOST money would not be available to us as a church organization. We know that. So we would have to raise approximately $5 million in order to, what they're telling us, to restore this place.
Right.
So, if we can tap into the hearts of Augusta's people, and the communities that are surrounding this area to help us restore the Miller so they, in turn, can participate in the coming years, it's a win-win for everybody.
It definitely sounds like it.
Go ahead.
Oh, I said it definitely sounds like it is a win-win for everybody, and hopefully that we can get this ball rolling. I'd like to see the Miller just restored, just on the merit of it being restored. There's no sense in everyone bickering to actually get it done.
No, and that's the thing. We want, regardless of whether we get to be a part of that and use it, I want to see the Miller restored. It's not about whether we get it or someone else gets it. And I want everybody to understand that it's not about if our church gets it. If we don't, we're going to take our candy stick and go home. It has nothing to do with that. We're going to be in downtown one way or another. We're going to be there. Our mission for our church is to have 4 different campuses in this area at the beginning, and that is Columbia County, South Richmond County, downtown Augusta, and Aiken County. We want to serve all 4 of those areas with 4 different campuses. And so the Millers is in our sights. We want it. We feel like it would be a tremendous value to Augusta to see it restored, to have it as a community center, not just a production venue, but that everybody can participate. And so, again, we want to see it restored for its value. Whether we get to do it or not is immaterial as far as that front goes. We have a vision. We're going to see that vision fulfilled. If the Miller is in it, man, we're excited. If the Miller's not, we're still excited, because there's a building downtown somewhere, somehow, that we believe somebody is going to help us with to be able to provide that community center for everybody.
Very, very cool. Again, I was speaking with Jason Mitchem from Revivify Church. That is a tongue twister, sir.
It is. Yes, it is.
But Revivify Church, Jason Mitchem, feel free to keep us posted by posting on the Augusta's Choice Facebook wall. That's facebook.com/Augusta's Choice. And we're going to go ahead and put together a little piece on augustaschoice.com so that you guys can try to keep up with what's going on with their initiative to restore the Miller. And who knows, maybe the AC Army can help pitch in. Thanks for giving a call in, Jason.
Kenny, thank you so much for your support. We're excited about what you're doing, and we look forward to many more of these in the future and how we can join together.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, sir. All right, bye-bye.
Take care, Kenny.
All right, that was Jason Mitchem from the Revivify Church. Guys, that is a great initiative. I would love to be able – I love old rustic theaters. I love going to the Imperial. One of the first things that I did when I moved here to Augusta 3 years ago was work with Johnny Hensley and the Red Hots, and we did a small little website for them to coordinate with a fundraiser for the Press On Fund, and I mean it was really really cool. And I love the way the Imperial is on the inside. And one of my dreams was always to create theater similar to one they have out in Austin, Texas, to where you could play old vintage movies and have a really good meal, like a restaurant meal brought to you, brought right to your table. Have a theater to where there's a table. And make it a real dinner theater, whether you're seeing, a live murder mystery play put on, traveling Broadway show, or you see Transformers 3 or Captain America on a screen. I would love to be able to do something like that in a place that is as historic and rustic as, say, the Imperial. Now, I've seen pictures of the inside of the Miller Theater, and man, I absolutely hope that they can get this off the ball. I mean, everybody, let's really try to work together on this one. Let's not make this turn into another political nonsense that typically happens, in the world, especially in the way things are going today. I'm not going to get into politics because then everyone will start throwing tomatoes at each other. Speaking of tomatoes, you like how I tie this one in? Speaking of tomatoes, we are about to do our giveaway for the Earth Fair prize pack. As we close out the show, we're running a little bit late, but you know what? There's nobody that's coming on after me, so I can go as long as I want. But we are going to do the giveaway. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and really quick read off what is in this prize pack. And I'm about to make someone's grilling for the next couple of days very, very, very. I'm going to make someone very happy here in a moment. So if they're listening, awesome. If not, well, we will still pass it on to them. We have in this prize pack, there is 2 Spice Hunter grill shakers. We have 1 EcoStart grill lighter fluid. There's 2 bags of Frontier smoking chips, mesquite and hickory. 1 true bamboo grilling tong. And we also have the grilling fork, a spatula, a bag of Earth Fare hardwood charcoal, 2 Earth Fare barbecue sauces, chipotle and tangy. On a side note, has anybody else noticed that Chipotle in the past 3 or 4 years has gotten really popular? I wonder if it's just on the merit of the name. 1 bone sucking seasoning rub, 1 bag biomass quick fire lighters, 1 pack cedar grilling planks, 1 fire and flavor Asian seasoned skewers, 1 Earth Fare logo bamboo cutting board. Really, that thing's really sturdy. And then 1 silicone grilling mat. We are about to do our big giveaway for that, and I'm going to tell you guys right now who the winner is. The way we had the contest set up was you had to fill out your email address on for our newsletter, which we are going to be kicking off here in the next little bit. We now have over 400 of you guys that are registered for our e-newsletter. You're going to find out when we do a new post. Whenever you're going to get early notifications of contests. You can go over to augustuschoice.com, right over in the sidebar where it says newsletter sign up. Fill in your name and your email address. Get added to our newsletter. It's really, really cool. We're going to be pulling content directly from the site and pushing it out directly to you guys. So, drum roll. I need to get my drum pad in here and sticks so that I can actually do a little drum roll. And speaking of drums, just really quick, one last person I want to mention before we do this and get out of here is Rock Bottom Music. The reason why I'm mentioning Rock Bottom Music is all the equipment that we are using today, save for my computer, because I don't think Rock Bottom sells computers, the mixing board, the microphone, the stand, all my cables come from Rock Bottom Music. Go in there, see Jonathan, see Devrin, see any of the people that are working in there. Look for the Rock Bottom t-shirt. It is right downtown. It is one of the awesomest places you can go in the area, bar none. Absolutely love Rock Bottom Music. Thank you guys for helping me get all the right equipment and getting everything squared away. I think the first show went really well. And the winner of the Earth Fair prize pack is Deanna Gore. Deanna Gore. I'm going to go ahead and post this on the Facebook wall, as well as on Twitter, so that you can see that you are the one that has won. Deanna Gore is the winner of the Earth Fair prize pack. You'll need to email me at yes@augustuschoice.com. We'll go ahead and get you some information on how to go about picking that up. We'll even meet you there, take a picture, and get you put in our Hooked Up gallery. Guys, I think that is absolutely awesome that you are really, really involved, and we'd like to thank all of our fans that are that faithfully follow us, post on Facebook, post the pictures. To any of my local photographers, I would like you to continue posting pictures on the Augusta's Choice wall. You guys do an awesome job. The CSRA is a beautiful place. We are about to get on out of here, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into our first show. We're going to go ahead and, I feel like I'm Paul Schaefer on Dave Letterman, sitting here trying to type while I am finishing up talking. Just going to get you guys some outro music here. Guys, again, thank you so much for joining us today. Look for us next week, Tuesday, 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. And we're going to have some other guests on. We'll also have Beth and Aubrey calling in again to give us a few updates. Again, everybody, thank you for joining us on Turn Up the AC. I'm out of here.